Private Equity Interview Case Study, Mini LBO Step-by-Step for Beginners. Hello, and welcome to Candimentor. Today we're decoding a beginner-level private equity case study. This is the style interviewers love: simple numbers, clear logic, and a step-by-step explanation of how value is created in an LBO. By the end, you'll be able to walk through a mini LBO confidently, even without Excel. See. What the case study tests, interviewers use this exercise to see whether you can think like an investor. They look for three things. First, whether you understand the core value drivers: EBITDA, valuation multiples, and leverage. Second, whether you can connect cash flow to debt paydown and eventually to returns. And third, whether you communicate clearly without drowning in details. If you can speak calmly and numerically, you're already ahead. Sample case setup. Interviewer prompt. Here's the standard prompt. Target EBITDA is 100 crore. Entry multiple is 10 times, so enterprise value becomes 1,000 crore. Financing: half debt, half equity. Very interview friendly. Debt interest is 10%. EBITDA grows at 5% each year. Exit happens in year 5, at the same 10 times multiple. This setup lets the interviewer see your LBO intuition. End. Step 1. Calculate purchase price. Start with enterprise value. EBITDA of 100 times 10 gives 1,000 crore. Debt makes up 50%, so 500 crore debt. Equity fills the other half, another 500 crore. Always state these numbers slowly, because they anchor the rest of your answer. Step 2. Project EBITDA for 5 years. EBITDA grows 5% each year. So, year 1 is 105. Year 2 climbs to roughly 110.25. Year 3 moves to 115.76. Year 4 becomes 121.55. Year 5 reaches 127.63 crore. This gentle compounding sets up your exit valuation. End. Step 3. Estimate operating cash flow. In beginner LBO cases, interviewers want a high-level cash flow. You can say, operating cash flow roughly equals EBITDA minus interest, taxes, CapEx, and working capital changes. Since this case keeps it simple, interest is 10% of 500, so 50 crore each year. Taxes are often ignored. CapEx usually mirrors depreciation. What matters is showing that EBITDA minus interest gives you the cash to repay debt. Step 4. Estimate annual debt paydown. Now think like a lender. In year 1, EBITDA of 105 minus interest of 50 leaves about 55 crore. That amount reduces debt. Next year, debt is lower, interest is lower, so more cash goes to repayment. By year 5, debt typically falls from 500 to roughly 200 to 250 crore. This deleveraging effect is one of the strongest value drivers in an LBO. Step 5. Calculate exit enterprise value. Exit EV equals exit EBITDA times exit multiple. So, 127.63 times 10 gives about 1,276 crore. Keep your math clean and confident. This. Step 6. Equity value at exit. Now subtract the remaining debt. Exit equity value becomes 1,276 minus roughly 225, which lands near 1,051 crore. This is the number LPs care about. Step 7. Calculate MOIC, multiple on invested capital. MOIC equals exit equity divided by initial equity. So, 1,051 divided by 500 equals about 2.1 times. This is a solid outcome for a 5-year LBO. Step 8. Calculate IRR. Use the quick rule of thumb. 2 times in 5 years is roughly a 15% IRR. A bit above 2 times, maybe 16 to 17%. Interviewers don't expect perfection, just directional correctness and confidence. Step 9. Identify key value drivers. Call out the drivers cleanly. EBITDA grows at 5%. That fuels value. The exit multiple stays the same, so no help there. Debt paydown is the biggest contributor to returns. Strong cash conversion supports the deleveraging story. That's exactly how a PE investor summarizes value creation. Step 10. Key risks. Show balanced thinking. What if revenue slows? EBITDA weakens. What if margins compress? Cash flow shrinks. What if interest rates rise? Debt costs strain cash. And what if the exit multiple drops from 10 times to 8 times? Valuation falls sharply. This proves you understand both upside and downside. Step 11. Sensitivity questions. Interviewers love this. Be ready for quick pivots. If the exit multiple drops to 8 times, IRR collapses. If EBITDA grows 7% instead of 5%, IRR improves. If leverage increases to 60%, IRR rises but risk jumps. Interviewers love candidates who think in cause and effect. Step 12. Simplified LBO outputs, table format. Speak this out slowly. Entry EV, 1,000 crore. Equity, 500. Exit EV, 1,276. Debt repaid, around 275. Exit equity, about 1,051. MOIC, around 2.1 times. IRR, 16 to 17%. This is a clean, interview-ready summary. Step 13. How to present your answer. Interview strategy. The interviewer wants structure. Start with the entry value, then walk through cash flow and deleveraging. Then explain exit value, and finally, returns. Use simple numbers. Add 1 or 2 thoughtful risks. Show that you're thinking like an investor, not just doing math. Bonus. Add-on deal variation. If the interviewer asks about bolt-on acquisitions, keep it simple. Add-ons boost growth, create synergies, and may increase margins. But they also increase leverage if funded with debt. This shows you understand expansion strategies. Bonus. Multiple expansion scenario. If the exit multiple rises from 10 times to 12 times, value jumps sharply. But explain that this is a market effect, not an operational accomplishment. Interviewers love that distinction. Bonus. What happens if company misses budget? Lower EBITDA, lower exit EV, less cash, slower debt paydown. Together, returns fall sharply. Explain the double impact. That's what shows investor maturity. End. Behavioral. How did you approach the case? Use a calm process. Entry valuation first, then leverage, then operating cash flow, then debt paydown, then exit, then returns. Mention that you kept the model simple, communicated assumptions, and focused on the value path. This reveals your discipline under time pressure. Closing summary. A case study isn't about fancy Excel tricks. It's about telling the story of how PE creates value, step by step. Use the simple flow: entry, cash flow, deleveraging, exit, IRR. Know your EBITDA growth, leverage math, MOIC, and IRR. If you communicate clearly and stay structured, you'll stand out in any interview. Final takeaway. A mini LBO case tests your investor mindset, not your spreadsheet speed. Master these steps, practice the logic, and you'll impress any private equity interviewer.